From a mile away, Foolio saw his death, and Yungeen Ace, his principal operator, has recently admitted to the FEDs, and the murder in a music video are in the process of.
Talk about it in rap videos and songs. You know, we're not going to allow you to just arbitrarily run around and spray bullets into people's houses and cars.
This seems to be the conclusion of the path for the rapper, as his murderous arrest seems obvious. So how precisely did Ace slip on his fiercest opportunity? Let's learn how youthful Yungeen Ace dispatched Foolio.
They done got that Foolio boy. I told him they would go get him. Yeah, nah, well, I didn't tell him they would go get him. I just knew they would go get him. Because the boy works hard to get got. No, the boy works hard to get shot on.
Charleston White acted without delay in mock Foolio's passing on the day when he was shot dead in Tampa, Florida. Similar to nobody was shocked by Charleston White. That Foolio had perished in a pointless violent act in actuality by now. Everyone was aware of the identity of the suddenly. Every eye is focused on a single individual. Yungeen Ace has even acknowledged to the killing, but to comprehend how young Ace managed to remove his number one op, we must examine the incidents that caused Foolio's demise on June 21, 2024 made Julio Foolio the day very memorable. A rapper from Florida was commemorating his 26th birthday, and he wanted to turn it into the moment when Foolio revealed his thankfulness on social media, sharing, "God, I appreciate you letting me see another year," and to commemorate one more birthday. Exactly 1 week before, on June 14th, the rapper shared something on Instagram. A leaflet announcing his upcoming Florida for his birthday celebration, and even immediately gave his admirers the time they needed. Inform him that it was not a good idea. Going to be their family's 4th of July, relax and say hello to one fan. Someone else remarked, "Yeah, you're going to get your shot up." Foolio, if the operations go smoothly, ignored the warnings from his admirers that rapper used Instagram to invite friends and supporters to go swimming with him celebration on the 22nd at an airman in Tampa, June. The occasion was widely publicized on social media, ensuring a fun-filled evening and joy.
Pool party start today at 5, 6 o'clock. If you already got the address, pull up, man. You got the address, pull up. If you need the address, DM me right now. The pool party start at 5, 6 o'clock.
The gathering began with much fanfare. The restaurant was electric, people blasting music, everyone in high spirits and dancing, friends, admirers, and other creatives alike surrounding Foolio in celebration of his unique day. The rapper had moments with from his Instagram story, at the party showcasing the lively audience, and I started drinking as I was in a joyful mood. Even drink, the celebration ended early. Planned as the celebration started to get unruly, however, as the throng rose, so did the cacophony. Levels increased in line with Foolio's lawyer Ls Fusco. The incident turned into two raucous, attracting the police in the area. When law police got there, they made the decision to end the celebration. Mr. Jones visited Tampa to commemorate his birthday this past weekend. Foolio's attorney informed police enforcement reports published by the press suggest that he first stayed at and but was ordered to go by airman because breaching the authorized occupancy limits. Foolio Instagram, as a way to vent his annoyance, said that the authorities had closed down threw him out of the airman party, and we were shut down and expelled by the police. That's insane work, airman. He put the group refused to allow the police to dim their so Foolio spirits in his entourage 20 profound, as he explained in a video. He chose to carry on the celebrations at another location. They moved to Tampa for the holiday. East Fowler Avenue North, in the hopes of preserve the birthday festivities, please. Interview number 4. I realize I'm speaking in profundity. Yet as the evening grew older, the joy became lethal at that point. 4:10 a.m., fireworks burst out outside the hotel, 2 automobiles were fired at, and 4 of the rounds struck individuals amid the Julio Foolio of the Tampa police was the victim. The department subsequently verified that one individual died, and 3 others were sadly. Foolio died after being shot and wounded. Foolio's girl in the parking lot took to X to express her loss by the post, "You all took, I detest you all, my lover." And I'm not the only one demanding legislation. Law enforcement representatives right away initiated a probe into the CCTV video of an ambush from the Holiday Inn is being very careful examined, but no suspects have been identified as of yet. Despite the police not having finding Foolio's murderers, the R industry is aware of the culprit behind the strike. Just 1 day after Foolio's murder, Main Op released a song video that revealed Yungeen Ace released a song on his own. The video for the song "Do It," in which he raps, "I don't even use his name when I call him. Let's get his phone a call, they all dose. I told them to do it, but they got the low. Surprisingly, followers of Foolio had suspicions that Ace and Yuki had made use of one of the females. To introduce the rapper at the celebrations, some followers claim that she assisted in organizing Foolio's celebration, and assisted in setting him. Examining her tweet from that evening revealed that she and the rapper were together, but one post was quite dubious and appeared to provide their whereabouts. So what's going on? Truth be said, 18 Julio Foolio is open till 6. The lady denied having anything to do with the rapper's passing after her several threats of murder from Foolio's supporters. She used Instagram to provide clarification, claiming that she only shared what the rapper agreed, that we just exchanged a narrative that we were given permission to publish by him personally for us at the position of our flyer from a post in which we were mentioned. Moreover, that the creator shared the everything about the night went well. No negative feelings, this was just negative energy. Unexpected given how well the evening proceeded. Please put an end to the false rumors and posts that are completely false and fraudulent posts that she made, even as Foolio's fans attempted to hold her accountable for the rapper's death, of which he had been repeatedly warned that a reward was being offered for his head. An informer spacecraft that came to light was alerted to the possibility of scammers him, but he dismisses it and goes to get cash. On the one day you're not, because I'm afraid of you. I don't want. It seems that Foolio was discovered using his defenses down, but it wasn't the first time when in April his operations had failed him. Foolio shared a picture on Instagram of many efforts to take his life and failing pals to prisons and cemeteries. These the last several months and years of my existence. Tragically, God has been attempting to send me a message. Several tries to take my life continue to live. I continue to lose my brothers. Graveyards and jails, yet I am aware of the highest level of doing everything with a purpose. I was able to walk again because of the rapper had made it through 3 gunshots before his good fortune eventually ran out. How had he lived to see his previous assassination? Tries to kill me, rapes me, considers dying every day. I mean, I may die today. Today I lose one of my daughters, Could suffer a family member's death. Let's face it. As of right now, the latest, there were a few attempts on Foolio's life. Months prior to his passing on October 6, Foolio was involved in a gunfight in 2023 that almost took his life. On that tragic evening in his own town of Foolio of Jacksonville was operating his black Filiberto, drove a Dodge Challenger through the 18th Street W3100 block. The fragment of the evening was broken by the gunshot sounds. According to a number of suspects from law enforcement sources, opened fire on Foolio's car as it was speeding in with shot holes. The assault happened quickly and viciously, shooting Foolio as he left. Laceration to his foot, and was promptly carried over to UF Health Jacksonville for therapy the next day. An Instagram story post seems to have come from one regarding his parents. The note said, "Keep going. In your prayers, my son, who was shot yesterday night in his city of hatred 2 years before he was in a comparable circumstance on Foolio, was at a residence on November 8, 2021. Recording music with on Ernest Street, a number of others. The residence that had been the focus of many concerns from neighbors regarding unusual behavior turned as the focal point of a combative altercation. Julio Foolio said to the police that he heard gunshots when he went outside and discovered the gunman inside a fully armed, dark-colored vehicle or SUV, firing back with 2 rifles. And what he accusations that I retaliated in self-defense. Everyone foolish me. I retaliated in self-defense. Don't consider that what I did was lawful. Would have been sent in prison by the police. The rear of the vehicle, Foolio, was bumped by a shot, but declined to go to the hospital as opposed to being limping and being led to a vehicle harm. And in 2020 he took part in another shooting that resulted in the hospital, where he took a video recording slandering his "shot me, killed me" on ops. You foolish. Foolio is not a saint, Henry. Alternatively, rumors are circulating that he has inflicted excruciating suffering for Tiny Jen and Ace, and sorrow after the deaths of those close to 2018 saw the rapper Foolio and his crew would give way to Ace in a situation wherein will always hurt Ace and suffering. Just 3 days before to the fatal Ace, the shooter used social media to post this image along with a menacing caption. He had no idea that in just a few days he would eventually be battling for his life, while his brother and closest pals on June 5, 2018, Aces would forfeit theirs. Traven Bullard, the younger sibling, was slated to join them in commemorating his birthday. Were close companions. Devin Smith Jr. Royal. Then the gang traveled to Jacob Dissed Grover to a nearby location for the birthday meal. As the night went on, the group was in high spirits. They had no idea that the evening would need an unbelievable shift. After dinner, the four young males departed the location, seated in their Chevrolet, prepared to go to spend the night somewhere else. But as they withdrew, the shocking horror. Suddenly, an automobile that seemed to be out unexpectedly gotten close to their car without prior notice or provocation. That evening, there was a crackling sound of gunshots. The Chevy was converted to a target as it was pelted with gunfire in an unrelenting assault. Yungeen Ace, amid the commotion, created a snap judgment motivated by he counted on instinct and brotherly affection. Over in a last-ditch effort to protect his pal at the wheel, taking a chance his own life as they were doing it. I was attempting to __, my little sadly brother. His efforts were in vain. Conceded the driver, and the two other travelers perished as a result of their injuries after being taken to the hospital. Ace, as he battled for survival in an unexpected development, he was booted, leaving the hospital before he was able to completely well. But he lacked insurance, which the healthcare center thought to be more greater than his serious injuries. Meanwhile, Ace's court cases exacerbated when it was found that on the day of the shoot, early gang had gone to a firearms store. On video evidence from University Boulevard, Ace was accused of stealing from the shop. A firearms-related probation violation. Participation, dealing with the fallout from the gunshot and the consequences for the law with his deeds. Ace gave in to officials with whom he was accused, not adhering to his probation after a 2017 conviction for accessory to an attempted theft during his probationary periods, specifically barred him from using a handgun ownership, as well as the Bullard video using a rifle was adequate for the judge to refuse bail. Escalating his suffering, Ace was also not given the chance to go to his brother's memorial service. Heartbreaking rejection of closure. After endured all of this anguish and sorrow, Ace was adamant about getting even with his main op. He pursued Foolio obstinately, and 3 times almost got him before he was ultimately prosperous, but prior to might reach Foolio and wreak havoc. On just a few months before, his affiliates Yungeen, Ace and Foolio were killed. Foolio's team managed to capture one of affiliates. Without this included no other than Rico Osama, a prominent figure in the local rap scene. On December 12th, the west side of Jacksonville in 2023, it became the site of a terrifying triple. Rico Osama was killed in a shooting late in the afternoon. That is, a burst of gunshots broke the normal hum. Numerous activities in the San Juan Avenue area and Jams Road. Observers described the mayhem that followed as around 30 gunshots echoed, reverberating off the shops and frightening onlookers into a frenzy. The quick series of images was so strong enough to draw the instant and off-duty police officers' focus on the surrounding area, who quickly informed the sheriff's office in Jacksonville when the situation developed. The cops intervened, hastily arriving at the scene at 6300 San Juan Avenue was their location. Greeted there with a scene of devastation, they found 3 male adults, victims whose corpses were shot, carrying the horrifying scars from the assault. The business plaza's parking lot was covered in several shell instances. Proprietor, whose company faced the most of the aggression, described the fear of the moment. He described how the bullets had at least 1 hole in them. Walls of his company making a keeping a cold one in the fridge, reminder of the precarious situation from which may have been a more significant defeat to the plaza structure, and a few parked vehicles had several gunshot holes in them. Unwavering eyewitness to the fury of the assault, 1 person had perished, and 2 more people suffered serious injuries sufficient to need urgent medical attention. The victims received prompt attention. The truth of the situation to the hospital was circumstances for one of their friends. The journey came to an end as they fought for life. Tragically, images on his individual Facebook profile displays him with the same month that he gave birth to his son was shot dead. In the wake of all this death, Atik and Destroy are 2 gangs. Both of these gangs, headed by Ace and Foolio, possess Jacksonville under siege, and the real cause of their conflict is absurd. So how were these gangs able to begin with, and why are they even? Atkvikta was formerly involved in beefing prior to Yang and Ace and Foolio producing instead. Mayhem in Jacksonville was a renowned gang that has since disbanded. Underneath, according to street sources, that it passed away. It was in this surroundings in which a teenage rapper named Yungeen Ace started to establish himself as a not just with his songs, but also as a symbol of growing power within the gang environment. Ace gained greater success from his rap career, influence both within the gang and on the streets. As Yungeen Ace's influence increased, his relationships with the eastern gangs Jacksonville's side heightened. Ace considering his charisma and street cred, creating a unified East-West network of allegiance and authority that stretched throughout the whole city. The ATK gang, which denotes Ace 2 Killers, turned into a power that demanded recognition and honor as the ATK gang established their hold over Jacksonville. A competing gang was growing in urban areas. The KITA stands for Kill Them All was growing from the beginning. KTA's foundation was found among the remains of the infamous Entertainment for Problem Children group police that had previously wreaked havoc over the city that had been devastated by law enforcement when the top 10 participants fell into the court's hands and were accused of murder and possessing a handgun crimes, leaving a gap that was swiftly occupied by those who were left yearning for guidance and direction as the streets or Charles Jones recognized him as Foolio, the last of the PCE remnants as everyone gathered behind him. Foolio planned the occupation of the North and the South regions, but what motivated the two groups to declare war based on information on the streets? The rationale for the ATK vs. the KTA feud was probably an instance of disdain between the two dating groups. The event happened years ago, when a November 2015 rap concert, where there were people from both groups there. Regardless of the conflict between the organizations, they tried to establish a ceasefire but one participant declined to shake hands, resulting in a fistfight and a fight to the death. A brief string of reprisal shootings, the first heinous murder occurred after this. Location of Zion Brown. Zion's murder. Brown's passing marked a dramatic shift in moment in the gang conflict. Zion was also Brown was a man of action in the streets. Their ops, the rapper Foolio's biological cousin, made the decision to go too far, and killing him in his house was going on. At 1:30 in the morning, the family's bricks broke through the back sliding door. Inside the residence of Brown's 16-year-old, the sound woke up sister and, anxious for assistance, dialed 911. But before the police might show up, as things worsened, a person appeared. Coming from the shadows and moving through the fragments of the gunman's glass door, went through the kitchen, and then entering the living room, the adolescent girl and her cousin, who is 9 years old, and Zion Brown, her brother, had assembled in the living room. The shooter discharged a succession of off shots, each piercing echo of the 16-year-old girl. Terror attempted to hide behind a sofa, but the gunshots found her, hitting them both. Her small cousin was struck in the legs by a right arm, neck, and Zion Brown was mortally injured as the neighborhood of Cedar Hills Estates in Jacksonville woke up to the catastrophe's aftermath. The Jacksonville Sheriff's Office was very far into the examination of the three-gun attack that had resulted in the Zion Brown's life and hurt two juvenile girls. The inquiry required an important shift when the injured, a 16-year-old girl, gave an important indicating that she was aware of the gunman was more than simply a name in the crowd. Someone she knew to be on Facebook pal and one of her boyfriend's companions. This revelation guided the investigators, taking a fresh approach, and the Deontra Thomas's name surfaced as the primary suspect, a guy connected to the primary operator of Foolio Ace. Deontra Orange, California student Thomas, 19, Park High School, has a history with the law. His prior experiences included a number of drug-related and other arrests in Clay County ownership, and a series of break-ins, one of which included stealing a gun. Deontra and Yungeen Ace, in actuality, were both connected to the heist 7 months before Brown's murder, when the two made plans to steal from someone who was fired for allegedly selling marijuana shots. Entering the house, almost losing a couple as well as a 1-year-old after his Ace, the arrest entered a no-contest plea. Relationship between the murderer of Zion Brown and Yungeen Ace made the rivalry more intense, and raised the bar for the cops. Equipped with this knowledge, started a Thomas's manhunt. Followed by the following evening around 8:30 in the vicinity of Butler Boulevard in Belfort Road. The hunt was over. Deontra Thomas was taken into custody, accused of a single murder accusation for the Zion Brown's death and 2 allegations of attempted murder due to the wounds imposed on the 2 females. But the tale continued after Foolio's affiliate's death, as the family of Zion Brown was compelled to vacate the property out of fear of revenge after Brown's sister's leak. There are more occasions when Yungeen Ace and Foolio's family would be killed by his KTA gang. Just after they killed Foolio's Adrian Gaynor, my 16-year-old younger brother, Grand Park student Junior alias Bybee, his death occurred in an incident in high school. It abruptly stunned the city, and brutal death of this young person hacked short in his friend's parking lot home to months and months into weeks into months, a very uncertain year, as the Corbin's first anniversary disappearance became close to the family designed a monument at Riverside's Memorial Park. However, Destiny had written a distinct conclusion to Corbin's tale on In the Late Hours of July 11, 2019. A guy removing land off the UT route created a Corbin skeleton was shockingly discovered to be hidden and wrapped, bringing a terrible conclusion for the leader of the sect Foolio was having a lot of fun on Instagram. Of Corbin upon the discovery Corbin, they let Corbin to be abducted, guy that insane dude, this Moran child, they've discovered bones. Ace and Fio are hardly saints, and with Fio dead and Ace admitting to the murder, it's only a question of time till police are closing in. You know, we're not will let you to act in an arbitrary manner, sprint around and fire shots at our people's homes and vehicles about to end. The lone instance of the Jacksonville gang war will let you know if this video was enjoyable. Toggle the boxes that are playing on your display to see related content.